stunted for a good couple of months. Took us some time to find our way around. But the jury is still out there that how is ChatGPT going to affect our business? As a parent, I remember that almost 4 or 5 years back, it became a kind of an idiotic play with my child to tell her that I'm taking your phone away. Because then she would blankly look at me and say, "Ki, Mama, how am I supposed to do even my homework?" Everything today is tech, 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 right? So I'm going to dive right in and ask 3 of our school owners here. I'm going to start with Mr. Gupta. That how has technology changed the education industry? How has technology changed the education industry?
I think technology has entirely transformed the education, and for the good, especially post-COVID. Earlier, as we used to say, for any community or society or state for that matter, that you have to industrialize or perish.
Right.
So almost 2 decades back, when we stepped into the 21st century, so I had given a talk for this industry, education, that you have to digitize or you'll perish.
Right.
So I think technology is here to stay, and technology is evolving, and it has transformed not only the academic aspect, the operational assessment aspect, administrative aspect, and I will say that, unless we adopt technology, embrace technology, technology is a big enabler, and I think as per the new national education policy, there is a lot of emphasis on integration of technology in all spheres of education. So I think it's done a phenomenal job.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, because this is very reassuring to hear that school owners are taking this in a very positive way. The same question to you, Robin, please.
Thank you. So fundamentally, technology has transformed our school education to three ways. The first is administration, right? All of us are using technology for day-to-day administration. It's really improved our efficiency. Second is, it's brought a lot of concepts visually alive, right? The same textbooks today, you can see it in a 3D model or in an AR or a VR model. So, you can able to visualize things and concepts, which helps in improving better learning outcomes.
Right.
Third is, with the advent of AI, and we see that technology education will become personalized,
right,
at some level, right? Because education is one's own journey. Right, and that way technology will help us in personalization that journey.
Right.
That will fundamentally improve student outcomes, and will enable us to impart better skills. And education fundamentally is the building block of all industry. Right?
Yes.
Till education sector is reformed and has better learning outcomes, industry won't change.
Right.
Right? So that's why technology is very important in improving outcomes.
Absolutely, and I think at the end of the day, it is the student which benefits, and that's how I think the country grows, and that's how the economics look better. So my same question to you also, Reekrit, that how do you think technology has changed the industry?
Well, first of all, I'll just say that if you can think of a classroom or if you can think of a future where an AI, a tutor knows each student's strengths and the weaknesses better than a teacher, do we want to live in that world?
Right.
So I feel the major aspect that we need to look at is that in terms of AI or in terms of tech or any of the fancy buzzwords that we talk about, where is this going to lead to?
Right.
And then I think that we have to work in the present to work for the future. The future is not the future actually, I think it's here now. It is in the present in terms of tech. So all of those things that you heard about or all of those things that you read about in fiction, the graphic novels, most of them they're taking place and going on as we speak. I mean, we've got Elon Musk who wants to make us shift to Mars now. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to happen. But the major aspect over here is that where is this going?
Right.
And I think in the present we have to build a strong foundational base for our students who are going to be the future as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer. Coming to you, Johnny. You've been in the research background for almost 30 odd years now, and in the education industry. So I wanted to understand from you, from a research perspective, what is the current status of learning methodologies in the globe as of today?
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's wonderful. So in fact, first statement I would like to say is there is no one proven the best in the world. Okay, everybody is evolving more aggressively these days,
Right.
and some of the experiences, if we look at Finland, they are moving towards from the subject-based learning to phenomenon-based learning.
Okay.
And Singapore, they are moving towards mastery and inquiry-based learning. And again, US and most of the developed countries are talking about personalized adaptive learning, adjust your curriculum to whatever speed the learner is able to adapt to. And looking at China, so again, if you look at Finland, so they have moved out of assessments. They said that no, there is no standardized assessments which are possible at all because every child is a different child. So across the globe, things are changing and aggressively changing. So is there a composite solution in place already? No. So, but what are all the components of this composite solution, possible solution, is actually emerging. So that's, if we are able to capture that, today's and the tomorrow's schools and the education institutions, both school and the higher education, will be more able to adapt and align to what could be the best solutions. So some of these pointers are moving towards exploratory learning at the first step, then experiential learning, getting into application orientation. Then the third is a very critical element because every child needs an engagement. Now fundamentally, I started more getting deeper when my son asked me, why should I go to school? So then I started looking at it, what is that they want?
Right.
So an engaging ecosystem, be it a personalized adaptive learning or providing them experience of application of their learning, and or now today children are hooked to their gadgets where they are connected to their peers across the globe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Suddenly somebody pops up who is not your national and sometimes not the peer of your child, but they are connected. So, but the education institutions are not thinking beyond their campus.
Right.
So now it's important that children are enabled to engage beyond their boundaries.
Right.
And learning from peers is going to be a very fundamental change in the way teaching and learning happens. The fourth element is more of empowerment.
Okay.
People look at AI and fear, while children are actually playing with that. So now, how do you really empower them and make them aware and understand or adapt to the ethical way of engaging with these tools and employing them to their own growth? So that's very important. Then the fifth element is Industry 5.0. We have still not really started looking at from the school system to the higher education system. How conscious you are about the society, the ecology, the ecosystems around you. So ecosystems responsiveness is a very fundamental thing which needs to happen. Look at the societal problems, break them into problems which are supposed to be handled by children to find innovative solutions. So you enable them, engage them, allow them to look at around and say that, okay, I have a solution for you. Let's work towards that. So then it starts, the education starts. Then finally, unlike the previous generations, Gen Z of the last segment and the Alpha are more entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Unless and until you enable them to find solutions which they could become emperors of or guide that and play with that, commercialize that. So that's going to be fundamental. So schools and the higher eds have to align to this component as well. So these are the
Fantastic.
6 elements which I thought.
Fantastic. I think you
coming
just
out.
put it so succinctly for all of us. But I'm taking my cue from you on experiential learning and on entrepreneurial mindsets. And I'm going to pass this question to Mr. Gupta. because I think it is his favorite thing, and he's probably taken his first step already on experiential learning school. So, Mr. Gupta, over to you. That how do you think experiential learning and an entrepreneurial mindset are going to be the future for our children tomorrow?
You see, the kinds of jobs and businesses, we are almost through with the first quarter of 21st century, and the way technology is evolving, the way AI is disrupting the entire ecosystem. So we have to understand that the kind of jobs and businesses the students in the school today, they are eventually going to land themselves into, probably still are unknown or not been invented.
Exactly.
So in a way we are preparing them for a future which is unknown.
Right.
So what kind of skills they are going to require a couple of decades down the line?
Right.
Like we talk about all these 421st century skills, critical thinking, creativity, communication, collaboration.
True.
So resilience, problem solving, risk taking. A lot of people were talking about how to handle failure, and we feel failure is just first attempt in learning. So all those skills, from being self-directed, independent, resilient, perseverance. So what we realized that if we summarize all these skills, so one common skill which can take care of all these skills were entrepreneurial skills. So that is how in 2022 we thought of setting up world's first school of entrepreneurship for kids. Because everybody was talking about this startup incubation, it just started. And it was all happening at a higher ed level, at undergrad level or university level. But nobody was talking about entrepreneurship at the school level. And whether it is entrepreneurship or academics or sports, like even if I talk about sports, like countries like China, Korea, Japan, they're winning hundreds of medals in the Olympics. And we are happy and satisfied 2 or 3. Why? Because they start very young. Fine, so likewise, if India has to be a developed nation, if we have to become a $1 trillion economy, if we have to, become a biggest, most thriving startup nation in the world, I think entrepreneurship is the key. And I'm happy to share, all of you must have seen the kids, 5th, 6th, 7th graders, how they started pitching business ideas in front of investors. I think that is the only way forward. And experiential learning is the only way. We have to take a transition from, because earlier the entire education was aimed towards exam.
Right.
Fine, so we have to take a leap from marks to making a mark. We don't have to teach subjects, we have to teach skills. So I think entrepreneurship and experiential learning is the only way forward, and that is how we have to look at the education. If we have to prepare the children for the future, if we have to prepare them for life, I think that is the only way forward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for that answer. Coming to you, Robin, my question to you is that traditional brick and mortar schools, how are they learning to adapt to technology and making the change? Because we need to do it real fast, because there is no time. The children are exposed to technology as fast as possible. Like Mr. Gupta said, that there are jobs 10 years down the line which we don't even know. So how do you prepare children for something like that, and how are the schools taking it forward?
Thank you, Ritika. So I fundamentally believe that we need to make transition from schools from examination to skills.
Right.
Right, and skills will keep on changing. Right. Today we have certain skills which are more important. Another 10 years they will change. So, I feel that degrees today are very useless in nature. They are pieces of paper which are important.
Yeah, you've been saying
but
that.
They don't lead to anything at all, and that's why we have the problem of unemployment. Or when our graduates apply for jobs, our industry says that they're not skilled enough. Right. So fundamentally, we need to make transition from examination society or to a skill-based society. Right. And fundamentally, once schools understand that, then it's become very easier to act on it.
Right.
So schools are a very mature industry.
Right.
We are, schools everywhere are the same, whether it's Finland or US or Sweden or Singapore. There's a lot to learn from each other. A lot of solutions have been invented or solved. A lot of problems have been solved by various school systems.
Right.
That I feel that I think you can copy a lot of new ideas, a lot of ideas from them, a lot of practices from them, and that is one way of changing our focus very fast.
True. And I think what something wonderful that you also do is that, it's not just about bringing, the inside world out, but also getting the outside world in and getting your children exposed to those kind of technology or teaching methods.
Right.
So thank you so much for your answer, Robin. Coming to you, Reekrit, you're running schools out of 4 states, right? How have you managed to maintain that in the in the world of online learning and all these micro schools happening all around us? So how have you managed to do that?
Sure. So we had spoken about this point on the phone as well, and I was skeptical if we should talk about this. But when it comes to scale, and adding to what Robin just said as well, that if you look at a child who's about to enter the education system in preschool during this year, 25, that child is going to graduate from school in the year 2041. That child is going to graduate from college, undergrad, in the year 2025 or so. 45 or so. So 41 and 45, these are 2 aims that we keep in mind. And what happens to that child beyond 2045 is something that we are also trying to look at. So the philosophy of running schools at scale in different states is to look at how the world is going to be then. It's going to be a drastically different world in terms of the learning outcomes, and in terms of what we need to train our kids for now, and in terms of what we need to skill them up for now. With regards to the management side of things, I'm just blessed to have a very good team.
Fantastic. I think it's always the team that makes it happen. So, in the interest of time, I'm going to be shooting 1 question each to all 4 of you, and you have to answer me in a minute. So, sir, I'm going to ask you this first. That what do you think is the most exciting thing that you're looking forward to in this industry with technology happening now?
The kind of opportunities which were never there is available.
Right.
So opportunity is there.
Right.
And what is that? You need to have a mind to learn, unlearn, relearn.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that answer. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Gupta.
I think a lot of exciting things happening. There is a lot of change in the mindset in all the stakeholders, because as a management or as practitioners alone we cannot do anything.
Right.
So I think the entire mindset from the educators' point of view, they are getting more time. I mean, earlier they were doing a lot of mundane tasks, like doing the assessment, checking the examinations.
Yes,
so they are extensively using technology, and they have more time for mentorship, to spend more time with the kids. So I think we are all super excited, and a lot of interesting things are happening. As they say, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. I think now, especially post-COVID, the parents also have realized that, look, I mean, they were a lot of skeptical about the screen time and, so many other things, the pitfalls or the, flip side of the technology. I think everybody has realized technology is here to stay, and technology is a facilitator, technology is an enabler. And a lot of interesting things and, learning outcomes are going to improve. And we are going to see some of the youngest startups right from India itself. So I'm looking forward to a lot of exciting times.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Robin, over to you.
I think Johnny said it very well. The ability to self-learn is one of the most important ability of all.
Fantastic.
So,
that's really exciting. Reekrit, over to you, please.
Well, I think in terms of education, there are 2 stakeholders who we need to focus on the most, which in many cases I think which you read about or we don't. The first is the student and the second is the teacher. So when it comes to the students, my philosophy is this, that when it comes to the why as to why they learn, they know that. And when it comes to what, of course, you've got various AI bots and ChatGPT, and you've got the net. So it's very important for us to teach them how to learn with so much information at their fingertips, on their smartphones, on their tabs. they need to understand what is the right way to learn and how they can use the various the sources to make sure that they grow in life.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I think just for our audience on a lighter note, usually when the child does well, तो वो पापा पे गया है. And I'm going to run into trouble for saying this. और अगर नहीं अच्छा किया तो मम्मी पे गया है. और जब silently एक दूसरे को हम ये बोल चुके होते हैं तो उसके बाद सारी गलती स्कूल की होती है. So just having to say that you guys carry a lot of burden and you are shaping the future of our country. And thank you so much for doing such a wonderful job. And a big round of applause for our panelists, please. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you. Not done done. I'm still giving you 4 minutes extra. I hope it's okay. Thank you so much.
Well, I just told her she's one of my favorite moderators for giving me 4 extra minutes to make up for the time that we've lost in the day. Anyhow, it was a wonderful conversation indeed. And I'd like to thank all our panelists and our moderator for this conversation and for taking us through various perspectives of the intersection of business, AI and learning. Could I request Mr. Anmol Rajdev to join us on the dais and felicitate our respected panel? Ladies and gentlemen, first up, please give it up for Mr. Johnny Edwards, Partner, Education and EdTech Industry Leader at Grand Thornton, Bharat, LLP. Ladies and gentlemen, please also join me in warmly felicitating Dr. Anirudh Gupta, CEO, DCM Group of Schools. As also Mr. Robin Aggarwal, Director of Learning Path School, Mohali, and past President, Chandigarh. And Mr. Reekrit Serai, Managing Director, Satluj Group of Schools. And our eloquent moderator, Ritika Singh, founder and CEO, Kontent Factory. If I were in the audience, I would have done that as well.